I knew that this wasn't just a website with my face and information on it.
Shelby Dominguez says she felt a wave of fear when she found herself on the DEI watch list, a website with a mission to root out perceived enemies in the federal government. The watch list is published by the American Accountability Foundation, or AAF, a conservative group with ties to senior officials in the Trump administration. It displays information on some 175 federal employees. They're mostly civil servants, and information such as their name, photo, salary, work history, and alleged political activities are listed for all to see. And the AAF wants them removed from their jobs for allegedly promoting liberal ideologies.
It felt like I had been blacklisted, and it made me fearful for my future. It made me fearful for my livelihood.
The website criticized her work as a diversity program specialist at the Department of Health and Human Services. One commenter on X called for her to be fired and investigated.
I was just frozen in that space of anxiety, that space of depression and sadness and anger, all stacked on top of each other.
Trying to maintain privacy, she says she became more secluded and was hypervigilant when she went outside. She was officially terminated from the U.S. Health Department in July. Since October, the American Accountability Foundation has published 3 watch lists targeting employees at different federal agencies. Reuters spoke with 24 people on the lists, all sharing their stories for the first time.
I mean, my life is different now.
Including Stephanie Anderson, a public health worker who was accused of pushing radical diversity, equity, and inclusion policies in government.
People were looking out, kind of on the lookout for me, like I was a wanted criminal or something. So it was scary.
More than half of the people Reuters spoke to wrestled with anxiety. Some described a quiet unraveling of their lives. Anderson had spent much of her career focused on infectious outbreaks, including Ebola, with the CDC. But since her profile appeared on the AAF website, she has changed her hairstyle to avoid recognition and reminds her children to lock the doors and check the security cameras.
One of my sons said, are people going to try and beat me up at school? And, so it's that type of thing that my kids are thinking about how they could defend themselves or what they should be doing because of this foolishness. It's just, I felt some guilt, and I know it's silly, but I've had that mom guilt of what have I done? Me deciding to work in public health has now put my kids in danger.
AAF President Tom Jones and his backers argue that many of these employees lean liberal and could work quietly to undermine Trump's agenda, so the public deserves to know their identities. In a statement to Reuters, Jones said, quote, "It's important that anti-Trump civil servants know someone is watching and taking names. We stand by our research and reporting, with our only regret being that more people on our lists haven't left government and handed their jobs over to patriots who will execute on the agenda the American people voted for in November." The watch lists do not include home addresses, phone numbers, and other intimate identifiers associated with doxing, the publishing of personal information online with malicious intent. Free speech experts say that does not cross the line into illegal activity. AAF also tells its targets on its website, quote, "If you see yourself on this list and wish to be removed, please forward us evidence that you've resigned or been fired."
I did watch every time I left my house.
Patricia Kramer, who was terminated from her job in July, has fought hard to get her photo taken down from the website. But she, like many others, has been unsuccessful. The 43-year-old U.S. Army veteran, who was a Hispanic employment strategist at the NIH, said seeing her bio on the list in February triggered the same anxiety she felt during her 2009 deployment to Iraq, when she lived under the constant threat of being targeted by enemy soldiers.
Telling an audience that these people are targets is essentially telling them that they should focus their attention on these individuals. I think that it's irresponsible, and I also think it's dangerous.